Hello everyone, welcome back, and thank you for joining us on the Live Unreal with Glover U podcast, where every week, Jeff Glover will dive deep into the questions that you are asking. He understands the challenges you are facing on a day-to-day basis because he still works every day on the front lines of real estate, with him and his team closing over 1,000 homes per year. Today, Jeff will continue the Real Estate Agent Business Plan for 2020, Part 2, 2020 Financial Model, Strategy, and Action Plan. We will learn from Jeff the things you need to implement to make your 2020 business strong and live an unreal life. Now, let's hear from Jeff Glover.
Let's move on to Section 5, the financial model. Section 5, the financial model. Take a sip of my Live Unreal water. It's really just sparkling water, but these water bottles are amazing. Keeps things cold. Okay, so Section 5, 2020 financial model. So I'm going to look at, all right, income, gross commission generated. Now, this is top line income. This is income before splits. This is basically if you were to take, let's say your average is 3% on every single transaction. If you were going to take all those 3% and add them up, that's your gross commission. All right. Most of you either are a solo agent or an agent on a team. Regardless, you're going to have some fees to the team or some fees to the brokerage. After those fees, you would write in the net revenue. And then if you're in a business where you get paid for home warranties or you get transaction fees or something on top of your commission, you'd add that to that third line. So let's just say, for sake of argument, my gross commission generated was $200,000 and I'm on a 50-50 split with my team. Then my net revenue after splits would be $100,000, right? So 200, 100. And let's say I sold 10 home warranties and I got paid a little extra on my transaction fee for a total of another $8,000. So my total net revenue would be $108,000. All right, so that's what I'd write on that total net revenue line. Then I would back out all my expenses because you're going to have some. Now, here's the deal. The one thing I wanted to point out to you on the Section 4, so go back to Section 4. That's something I forgot to cover with you. Section 4, total expenses. Okay, this is very important. Total expenses on Section 4. It says 10 to 50%. Now, the way our business is structured today is this. If you're an agent on a team, your expenses are probably somewhere between 5 and 15%. All right. We find that most agents that are on teams, they average about 10 to 12, maybe 15% of their income goes towards their expenses, vehicle expenses. Maybe they're paying for a little bit of leads. Maybe they're paying for signs, right? When you're on a team, your expenses are a lot lower. When you're a solo agent, your expenses are a lot higher. Most solo agents, by the way, are spending anywhere from 25% on the low end to up to 50% on the high end. All right. So that goes back to that whole thing about split versus net, which some of you may have seen my video on that. At the end of the day, whether you're a solo agent or on a team, your net still ends up being the same. It's just about how much you apply yourself and how great the team is that you work for. Obviously, that helps. But if you're an agent on a team, your number is probably going to be somewhere between 5 and 15%. If you're a solo agent, your total expenses are probably going to be between 25% and 50% per transaction. All right. And you'll be able to determine that once you follow the financial model on Section 5. So you add up all your expenses, going back to Section 5. You tally up all your expenses, you write down total expenses. Take your net revenue minus your total expenses, and then there's your net operating income, also known as Uncle Sam's portion, or Uncle Sam gets a portion of that. That's your taxable income. All right, that's Section 5. Now, for those of you that haven't done a profit and loss statement in the past, make this the first year you do one. That's why we put it in the plan. It's new to the plan this year. Okay, turn the page. We're on page 5 at the top, Section 6. Again, if I'm moving fast, that's because I only have 1 hour, and this is going to be recorded and it's going to be sent out, so you're going to get a copy of this, all right? Section 6, action plans to implement to generate new business. This particular section we broke up into 2 categories. We used to just have this in 1 category and it would just be action items to implement. Well, now we broke it up into 2. And the reason why we broke it up to 2, because there's 2 types of clients I want you to focus on in 2020. This goes back to why this focus is important with what's changing in the industry. I want you to focus on bringing clients into the funnel. What can you do? Imagine you've got this big funnel that you're walking around with. Everyone's walking around with this big funnel. Section 6 is designed to be 5, 6, 7. You don't have to give me 10. Maybe it's 3 things, whatever the number is. 7 things, 8 things that you're going to do to put people into your funnel. What are you going to do to go out and get people in your funnel? That's what Section 6 is all about. So, it might be I'm going to prospect expireds every day from 9 to 10. I'm going to door knock from 4 to 5, whatever. Things to go out and meet strangers. Remember I said 2 types of people? These are all the things you're going to do to get in front of the people that you don't know. What are things you're going to do to get in front of that crowd? Section 7 are the things you're going to do to add value to the crowd that's already in the middle of the funnel. Your database, your past clients, your current clients, your sphere of influence. So section 6 is all about what I'm going to do to put people in the funnel. How am I going to get people to hear about me? How am I going to talk to people? What am I going to do to generate new clients? Section 7 is taking the clients you already have, past clients, sphere of influence, and pouring value into them. So that way it turns out that it leads to R&R. Nope, that's not rest and relaxation. That's repeat and referral business. So how can I add value to the database to generate more repeat and referral business? And I want that to be a focus this year. By the way, that part of the plan is brand new. Okay, you're going to see it as part of the plan in future years as well, because our loyalty from our clients is being tested right now more than ever. Section 8. And by the way, there's data that backs that up. For those of you that haven't been to one of my half-day sessions that we're doing around the country right now, there's actual data from the National Association of Realtors, the profile of home buyers and sellers, which I should have started with that. Everyone should print that report every single year. When we go to do our company business plan, we're Googling NAR, National Association of Realtors, profile of home buyer and sellers report. When we put that date, when we put our plan together, we're looking at that report because we're looking for trends. Well, one of the trends that's in the report, you can go back, you'll have to scroll far, but if you can get your hands on the 2010 report and compare it to the 2019 report, one of the trends that you'll find is that consumers are using other methods other than repeat and referrals, other than referrals from family and friends to learn of the real estate agents, which is causing it to be a lower percentage of how they found their agent. That number is down, all right? That number is dropping. Repeat referrals are declining. So that's why the focus for 2020 is how do we add more value to get that number back up? And of course, as we talked about a few minutes ago, A plus B, adding people to the database, okay, which is at the bottom of the daily plan, should be part of our daily plan, plus adding value is going to keep that number going. All right, so that's section 7. Action items to add value, whether you're doing client events, whether you're doing mailings, whether you're doing phone calls. This particular week, we're doing something called database days, where we go out to our entire database and we call them and we say, thank you for your business. Hi, this is your realtor, Jeff Glover. Thank you for your business. And more importantly, I wanted to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. If there's anything I can do for you or anyone you know, I hope that you'll keep me in mind. Very warm and fuzzy call, value added call. Oh my gosh, Jeff, you didn't have to do that. That's so kind of you. We're calling all of our past clients and current clients and sphere of influence with those calls right now. They're the warmest, fuzziest calls that you can make. And why would I make them right now? Because you're going to be in a situation in a couple days where more family and friends are going to see more family and friends in one day than they probably saw in the entire last month. And I want to be top of mind because somebody's talking about, buying or selling a home. Somebody's talking about who had a kid. Somebody's talking about getting married. Somebody's talking about making offers and not getting them accepted. Real estate is going to come up. So since I know it's going to come up, I want to be top of mind. How do I do that? I call my database and say, thank you for your business and your continued referrals. And more importantly, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. If there's anything I can do for you or anyone you know, I hope you'll keep me in mind. Those types of things go in section 7. The plan for those calls, for those mailings, for those events, for whatever you're doing goes in section 7. Okay? Section 8. When you look at section 6 and 7, you look at all your action items. These are all the things I'm going to do to build a business in 2020. When you look at all of those things, it's going to be glaringly obvious where your business is going to come from next year. So I want you to identify where you think your 3 top sources will be. All right. And you'll just look at section 6 and section 7 to determine that. So it might be sphere of influence past clients. It might be Zillow. It might be open houses. Whatever it is, I want you to identify where you think most of your business is going to come from next year. All right. Moving on. Section 9, my new weekend schedule, Saturday or Sunday. We're now at the bottom or at the top of page 6. All right, so at the top of page 6, we got section 9. I want you to write out what your Saturday or what your Sunday is going to look like when you do decide to work weekends. Now, I will never endorse, if you've been to any of my events, I always recommend agents take Sundays off. I believe that's a family day, that's a personal day, that's a day to check out. I've done that for years and years. That's a day where, until the evening, I will start working in the evening and start planning my week, but that's a day to mentally check out and spend time with family, friends, or whatever. So I want to know what your new weekend schedule is going to look like. You're not working from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. So we just put we put a little window in there for you to operate from. And I want to know how many weekends per month you're doing it. All right. Section 10, my new morning routine. Hear me loud and clear on this. If you have a goal to increase your business in 2020, you will not do it without changing your morning routine. It won't happen because the morning routine is designed for income producing activities, which is where that business is generated. So I want to know, now in the past, we used to say, okay, what are you doing from the time you get up until the time you're home with your family, your friends, your kids? I want to know what you're doing all day long. And we would put these agent business plans together based on everything they're doing all day long. Well, the reality is I don't care what you're doing in the afternoon or in the evening anymore, because all I care about is what you do in the morning. Win the morning, own the day. If you master your morning routine and it's focused on income producing activities, everything else will fall into place. So I want to know, notice I gave you 30-minute increments, right? I want to see an intense morning routine. That means it has the same start time every day and it has the same activity at the same time every single day. So don't be writing closing, 9 a.m. closing, unless you're going to have a closing every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 9 a.m. Don't write in closing at 9 a.m. Instead, write in return Zillow lead calls or call for sale by owners or whatever it is you're doing to income produce, right? It goes back to that quote we have on a wall in the back of our office that says, if I didn't go on an appointment today, seriously, what did I accomplish? So therefore, my entire morning routine is designed to generate an appointment. All right, that's what goes in section 10, and it doesn't change. Remember, two things I want you to remember on that. Same start time, and you do the same things at the same times. All right. Section 11, possible challenges and solutions, accountability needs. These are things that could come up that would throw you off track. Well, I have trouble, I wrote in there that I'm going to be in the office every day at 8 a.m. My challenge will be getting in the office every day at 8 a.m. All right, so what could a solution be to that? What kind of accountability do you need to put in place? Do you need to work a deal out with somebody in the office, write them checks or hand them cash if you're not in by a certain time? Basically, possible future solutions. I've also had agents write down, I'm getting married this year, and I know that I'm going to be out for the entire month of May. Okay, good. So when we're writing your plan, then that means we probably have to double up your March or your April to make up for the business that you're going to lose in the month of May by being gone a month. Whatever it is that could put you behind in the year 2020, let's identify it in advance and put a plan in place prior to the year starting. All right, section 12 is a new part of the plan. We're on page 7. This is a business, sales, and life skills development plan. This is where I want you to write a minimum of 5. I want you to just go ahead and write the number 5 and circle it somewhere around there. I want you to write in 5 things that you're going to do in 2020 to improve for personal development and growth. All right. So for instance, since you're already writing the number 5, I want everyone to grab their pen. Okay. You probably knew I was going to do this. Under events, I want you to write Live Unreal Summit Orlando. All right. Under events, Live Unreal Summit Orlando. If you want more information, go to liveunrealsummit.com. Regardless, the reason why I'm having you do this is because I want you to write 3 to 5 things that are going to cause you to get out of your box and get exposure to other people who are doing great things. So you might write events, Live Unreal and, the Coldwell Banker Conference or the Keller Williams Conference or whatever. You might write coaching, sign up for ABC Coaching Company, sign up for Glover U Coaching, whatever. I don't care what you write down. Accountability. Find somebody in the office to hold me accountable to getting in at this time, or find an accountability partner. All right. Podcasts. I'm going to listen to the following podcasts in 2020 to give me more exposure, to give me more positive things. Speaking of podcasts, go ahead and write Live Unreal Podcast. The Live Unreal Podcast is a place where once or twice a week, I'm pouring into the industry with things I'm doing in the business and on the ground every single day, right? I'm not talking about things I was doing in the past. All right. That's Live Unreal Podcast. All right. You can go search that in wherever you find podcasts. What am I going to do for my health? What time am I going to work out each day? What am I going to do for my wealth? How am I going to put money away? What am I going to invest? How am I going to improve relationships? This is all about a personal development plan. Now, of course, some of these things are business related, which of course lead to helping your personal life as well. But I want you to write down things that you're going to do to improve your personal life in 2020. And that would be section 12 of the plan. And if I could have my staff share the podcast in there, that would be great as well, please. Okay. Section 13. This is a new one also for the plan. Some of you may have heard this before, so we're going to break it down a little bit for you. And we're not calling it, somebody called it this. I don't know who did. So sorry if I'm missing giving someone credit, but I'm not taking claim for it. But we're putting it into a plan, so I will take claim for that. and that is, it's called the 15th protocol plan. We're at the top of page 8. By the way, 2 things. Actually, go back to 7. I do want to give you a couple books that you should purchase for 27 or for 2020. Okay, I brought 3 with me. All right, one of them is called Leading with Passion. Leading with Passion. 10 Essentials for Inspiring Others. These are simple. These are quick and simple reads. Okay, Leading with Passion. 10 Essentials for Inspiring Others. The author is John Murphy. The second book is called Pulling Together. Can you put these in the comments as well? Pulling Together, 10 Rules for High Performance Teamwork, also by John Murphy. Final book, The How of Wow, Secrets Behind World-Class Service, also author John Murphy. Okay, I would get your hands on these 3 books. We hired a consultant about 4 years ago that came into our world and looked at things that we could improve on as a company. And I will tell you, this book in particular, The How of Wow, changed our customer experience and changed our culture and our focus towards how do we add more value to the customer. And so it just so happens, while we're talking about the Live Unreal Summit, I have the author of these books, plus plenty others, John Murphy, as one of our keynotes at the summit in Orlando. So he will be taking the stage. Really, really great experience to have him there, considering 4 years ago, I had no idea who the guy was. Okay, and while you're also writing down books, I'll give you another one. This one's totally free, all right, and that is the Glover Gazette. You guys have probably seen this. Most of you guys probably subscribe to it. It's once a quarter. We put out 40, 50 pages, whatever it is, of solid sales and business advice. Read this quarterly. When it comes out, get your hands on it. If you want a copy of it, you can get this at gloveru.com/Gazette. It's gloveru.com/Gazette. We'll put that in the comments as well. You can subscribe to that. That's totally free. Okay, back to the plan. Section 13, the 15th protocol. If I'm behind on my goals at the midway point each month, I commit to the following action items during the last half of the month. Here is why the 15th protocol is important. 15th protocol is important because in business and in life, and especially in the real estate business, we are programmed to, if we have a bad month, have the mentality that we can just make up for it next month, right? I had a bad January, so let's make up for it in February. I had a bad February, so let's make up for it in March. The 15th protocol is designed to create a little bit more urgency and to shrink that mentality from a 30-day makeup mentality to a 15-day makeup mentality. So instead of having a month to make up for something, you shorten it to 15 days. So what the 15th protocol is this. The 15th protocol is 3 to 5 prearranged things that I commit to doing if I'm not on track with my goals by the 15th of the month. So instead of looking back at the end of January and saying, man, that was not a great month, which we've all been there. All right, I need to make up for it in February. Well, now you're looking at just the 1st through the 15th. And then you're saying, I need to make up for it in the last half of the month. All right, so the goals to measure, you would write in something, what I recommend would be simplest thing you can do, listings taken and homes sold. Whether it's a buyer sale or a listing sale, I don't care. Listings taken and homes sold is a good goal to measure. So let's say your goal is to take 4 listings a month and to sell, have 4 sales. You know, maybe 3 of those 4 listings sell and then you have 1 buyer sale. Very reasonable business. 4 listing sales and 4 listings taken and 4 sales, combination of listings and buyers. So I would write goals to measure, 4 listings taken and 4 sales pending. And then I would have 3 to 5 things, agreements with myself that I would do or agree to do if I'm not on track with my goals. So it could be, you know what, if by the 15th, so if, by the way, if by the 15th I need to have, it's 4 and 4, I need to have 2 and 2. So if I have 2 and 2, I don't have to change a thing. But if by the 15th I only have 1 listing and I only have 2 sales, then I need to get on my butt or off my butt, get on my butt, off my butt, whatever. I need to get off my butt and get into action. So I would write down 3, 4, 5 things that I'm going to do in the last half of the month to get things turned around and get back on track. You can see when you create urgency around breaking it the month in half versus just waiting until next month, how your results could go up. Now, these things could be, I'm going to hold 1 more open house in the last half of the month, or I'm going to come in 30 minutes earlier. I'm going to stay 30 minutes later. I'm going to have 2 prospecting evening sessions. Whatever it is, I'm going to write down 3, 4, 5 things that I'm committing to do if I'm not on track for my goals. All right. And that is a decision. That's something that I'm making ahead of time. It's part of my plan. And then by the 15th, when we do our meetings with our associates or the agents that work with us, we're going to ask you, how are you doing on your 15th protocol? Well, my goal is 4 and 4. I'm at 2 and 2. I'm good. I don't have to change a thing. But if you're 4 and 4 and you're at 1 and 1, 15th protocol kicks in. 3, 4, 5 things that I'm going to do in the last half of the month to get back on track. All right, section 14. Describe what an unreal life means to you. This is also something that's new for the plan for 2020. What an unreal life means to me. Think of what unreal life is, first of all, okay? Unreal. The definition of unreal in our world is something so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. So when you hear us, when you see us print things on t-shirts and on water bottles that say unreal, we mean unreal is something so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. That's our definition of unreal. So everything we do is to help our associates or those that work with us in our coaching programs or at our events to live unreal lives on this earth. We only have so much physical time to make connections, to make contents, to make contacts, to spend time with family, to spend time with friends. We only have so much time on this earth that it better be an unreal life. And so when you think about what would an unreal life look like for me in 2020, it can be business related, it can be personal related, it could be a mixture of both. I want you to write in here a couple sentences or maybe even a paragraph, maybe even several pages of what an unreal life means to you. All right, that's what section 14 is. What does living unreal mean to you? What does your life look like when it's unreal? And by the way, that's our focus of agents that work with us in our coaching programs. We start with that. What does an unreal life look to you? That's where we set the bar. And then we say, okay, here's what we need to do to get there. All right. Final section of the plan, and probably my favorite section of the plan, and it's also a new edition, section 15. And we called it Life at the New Level. Life at the new level. Here's what it means. All right. So let's just say, for instance, to keep numbers simple, you made $50,000 last year. Actually, to keep it even simpler, we're going to say $48,000. So you would write in there a 48,000 is $48,000 divided by 12. You'd write 4,000. Okay, I'm writing that now. 4,000 is, now you don't have to write. I'm just doing this for my mind here. My average monthly income in 2019 was $4,000 a month, 48,000. We're talking taxable income. Okay. My goal this year is $100,000 a year. All right. Now, of course, we had the whole conversation about doubling in 1 year is difficult. If you're past 3, 4, 5 years in the business, you should look for a 20 to 30% increase. But let's just say you made $48,000 your first year. Okay. So doubling it is not out of the question for year 2. So your new monthly average income would be $8,000. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab a clean sheet of paper. Okay. And I want you to do a simple activity. I want you to take a clean sheet of paper and I want you to draw a line, yellow pad or whatever. I want you to draw a line down the center, and I'll hold this up and show you what it looks like. And at the top, I want you to write 4,000. And on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, I want you to write 8,000. Okay. Very simple. Clean sheet of paper, line down the middle. 4,000 on the left, that's what I made this year per month on average. Now, I understand maybe 1 month you had 8,000 in income, 1 month you had 1,000. You take the total, you divide it by 12. That's what I averaged per month, $4,000. My goal next year is to make 100,000. So I'm going to go from 48 to 100, $8,000 a month on the right-hand side, line down the middle. On the left-hand side, I want you to write, this is a very crucial activity. All right, this is a new thing for our plan in 2020, and it's something that we're going to continue to focus on moving forward. I want you to tell me what your life looks like at $4,000 a month. I want you to tell me the kind of house you have, the kind of car you drive, how old your kids are, what colleges they're in or what school they're at, if they're in private school, if they're in public school. I want to know what your payments are. I want to know what your car payment is, your house payment. I want to know if you have rental properties. I want to know if you have an investment home. I want to know what vacations you took. I want to know what you invested in. I want to know how much you put away. I want to know at $4,000 a month what your life looked like. This is an important part of the plan, and this is a confidential plan. You're not sharing it with me. Now, if you're in our coaching programs, then yeah, your coach is going to see it because we're going to coach you to this. But this is yours to keep, right? So this is confidential. Yellow pad or whatever. Write out what your life looks like at $4,000 a month. This is one of the most crucial steps in the plan. You cannot skip this step. On this side, I want you to write out what your life is going to look like at $8,000 a month. what kind of car you'll drive, what kind of house you have, what you'll put away, what you'll invest in, what vacations you'll take, where you'll send your kids to school, what you'll buy for your family, what you'll do for your family, what you'll do for your kids. I want to know at $8,000 a month what your life looks like. And here's what I can tell you. If you can clearly define for me what it looked like at 4 and what it's going to look like at 8, and there better be some differences. If it's clear that there's some differences between $4,000 a month lifestyle and an $8,000 a month lifestyle, if it's black and white, I can look at this and say, wow, you got a lot of plans next year. You're doing a lot of exciting things. So you're going there, you're upgrading this, you're investing that, you're paying down this debt, you're paying this off. That's awesome. If you can tell me what you're going to do with an extra $4,000 per month, you're already on your way. If you can't, we got a problem. And that's the challenge with this industry is agents make just enough money to pay the bills and have a little bit left over because they don't have a burning desire to put in the extra effort. You won't get that burning desire unless you are clear about this. You won't have the burning desire to come in earlier or stay later or unless you're clear about what this is going to get you. So as the last step and the last part of your plan, I want you to spend time looking at what your life looks like at $4,000 a month, what it looks like at $8,000 a month. Last and certainly not least, turn the page 9, okay? We got an event coming up. We got an event coming up in Orlando, Florida, all right? For 3 days on a focus of building a massive database, adding value to it, and getting the most out of it. So if you're like me and you're looking at what's happening in the industry and you're thinking to myself, I need new ways to build a database and I need a way to add value to it so I get a better return, then you're going to want to come join us at this event in Orlando, Florida. It's at the Omni Resort at Champions Gate. You can check it out. I'm not going to give you the full sales pitch. You can check it out on your own by going to liveunrealsummit.com. That's LIVEUNREAL. The word summit.com from all parts of the country, from all companies, from all brands. Bruce Himmelstein, the creator of the Ritz-Carlton Experience, he's going to be one of our keynotes. John Murphy, the author of the books that I just shared with you, and a whole slew of other people that have had to build a massive database, add value to it, and get the most out of it. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to see you. That's liveunrealsummit.com. And what's wrong with Florida in the middle of January anyways? It's January 6th, 7th, and 8th. We purposely picked a weekend, or we purposely picked a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday so people could spend the weekend prior. We also wanted to do it early enough in the year so that way you're not missing out on business. When you get back, you'll be able to hit the ground running. We're staying at the Omni Resort at Champions Gate. Again, if you want to check it out, that's liveunrealsummit.com. We put on 2 major events a year, and that is going to be our biggest event, by the way. It's the first time we're bringing it outside of the state of Michigan in a big way, and I know we're planning on having a ton of people down there. So we will see you guys. Let's have an awesome 2020. It's a new decade. It's time to kick some butt. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for taking your time to join Jeff today on the Live Unreal with Glover U podcast. To get started on having an unreal business, take the Real Estate Self-Assessment. After you complete the assessment, a member of Glover U will get on a call with you to create an action plan to improve your score. Go to www.gloveru.com/self. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Search for Live Unreal with Glover U on iTunes, Podbean, or Spotify, and subscribe today. Until next time, remember, we only have so much time on this earth, and it is better to live an unreal life.